Welcome to the Church Solutions Podcast, brought to you by JSL Solutions. The Church Solutions Podcast is designed to help equip you and your church in the use of technology and other tools and services. And now, here are your hosts, Steve Lacy and Phil Thompson.
Welcome, my friends, to another edition of the Church Solutions Podcast.
Hi, my name is Steve Lacy.
Whoa, you came in kind of loud.
I did.
All right. So, welcome, folks. That's Steve Lacy, as he just said. I'm Phil Thompson, and we still haven't changed our music yet, but we understand somebody's working on that.
Yes, we have commissioned an artist.
A local artist?
A local artist to create a new, more rock and riff intro.
Okay.
Someone I know very well. Someone I used to change the diapers of many years ago.
So that would be Chad Lacy.
Yes.
Well, good. He's a accomplished musician.
Yes,
My son
I'm
took
sure.
guitar lessons from him.
Yes, so Chad, he's got some, I guess you call them CDs recorded or some
Right.
LPs or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
So he's really into that sort of thing. So yes,
Well, good. I can't wait to hear it.
I know. It may be a little too heavy for us. Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So we're with a company called JSL Solutions. We'll tell you more about that company at the end of this podcast. But we help churches and ministries use technology.
Yes.
That's our deal. And we have several products. But we've had some people ask this question over the years, and I thought that we have addressed it before, but I can't find any podcast about it that
And
we've
you
done.
know, if we can't remember it, it's most likely not happened. It's kind of if I can't remember what I wore yesterday, no one else will either.
I can't remember anyhow. But all right, so here's the topic: how to get more streaming video viewers.
Viewers, yes.
Yeah. So if you're streaming video, and actually you could use this for other things you're doing as well.
Right.
If you've got
Some of
other
these
video,
are geared towards the streaming.
but you could use it. It's possible that some of it could work. But I do get people asking me, well, okay, I'm doing streaming video now, but I want more people to watch.
Right.
And how do I do that? So we're going to share some tips. Maybe you could
These
add to
top
this list.
7 tips.
I got 7 here, 7 or 8, but you could add. I mean, we've got listeners that maybe could add to this list. So let us know. So, but it's important. I think if you are going to take the time and trouble to do streaming video, we think it's very important.
And it's interesting that some churches that that are customers of ours that we visit do just an incredible job. And I think they're incorporating some of these tips that they have the most vibrant online communities, and others are it's kind of so. So these are some tips.
I know we've talked about this before, maybe not on a podcast, but anyhow, let's just jump into it. So, and this is no particular order. Like the last time, there's no really particular order on how you should do this, but I've made a little list here. Steve can add to it. The first thing I put down on my list here was social media. Use social media. And let me clarify that a little bit, because you can use hashtags now, like with Twitter. But I would also include, if you're going to post something like a tweet, which I would encourage you to do that, I would use a hashtag on the topic that you're going to, whatever the topic of the sermon is. But I would also put an image in, because with your image, you're going to get more attention with the image.
Video?
Well, I guess you could do a video, but you're encouraging people to watch your live video. So, I would put an image of something, maybe an image of, some of these churches out there, they're talking about, just like marriage, well, a lot of people put together graphics for marriage, and they have graphics for their programs, graphics for their videos, graphics for, they're advertising the message coming up in 4 weeks. We're going to talk about marriage,
Right.
and there's a graphic image. And so I would take a graphic, some kind of an image, and post it, along with the topic.
With some teaser based topic. Huh?
Exactly. And get it out there. And you say, well, I don't use Twitter. Well, okay. You probably should use something, maybe Facebook.
Yes.
You could do Facebook. You do the same thing on Facebook. And you can use hashtags with Facebook.
Yes.
And you can use hashtags with Instagram.
Yeah, so this topic would apply to whatever you're promoting, right?
Yeah.
Just use social media.
Pinterest or whatever. You could do that. There's lots of them out there. And I know we talked about social media before, and I know it's overwhelming for a lot of people if you don't do it a lot. But you should at least have some platform that you're using. And
so there's There's one that just came to me that's not on your list that we harp on sometimes quite often, and that is to have a very discoverable link on your homepage
I
for
put
your
that
live
on.
platform. Oh,
I
you
wrote that
added
on.
it.
Well, I added it to my list.
Oh, okay.
Because I looked at this when I printed it. I thought, I forgot about the website. Yeah.
Yes.
But you're right. Absolutely right. I mean,
and we struggle with this a lot of times. People will either call on the phone or we're chatting online, and they go, "Hey, we need to." Yeah. It's not working well, or something's going on, and we go to their website and we cannot find.
Can't find the link.
Yes.
Can't find the page that it's on.
Yes.
And if we can't find it, how's anybody new going to find it?
Right.
I mean, maybe your regular people might know where it's at after they've struggled for a while, but you should definitely make it nice and clear on your website, on your homepage, a link. And with our company, you can either link, you can put a link to a platform or you can embed it on
either
one of the pages of one of the back pages of your website. So
there's
definitely put it on. Got it.
And not to get too far off topic, but what I think a lot of the better churches do is they will identify some priorities for their website, and typically 3 or 4 priorities for their website.
Yeah.
I know my site, my home church right now, really emphasizes that someone will be able to very quickly and easily find that I'm new to the church, and so there's some information on that. They can find the archives of our past video messages, and they have the live streaming. So those 3 things are actually 3 large, prominent buttons on the front of the homepage.
Images, I think you've got on yours. But yeah, absolutely. So that's a very important thing. So if you want to get more streaming video viewers, definitely have it on your homepage where it's easy to find, at least the link to it. And then, use social media and use it, regularly.
Right.
Use it all the time as much as you can.
All right. So we're ready to move on to our number 2 on the list?
Yes, number 2 or whatever we're calling it. Number 2 or number 3.
Okay. Interact. It would be the third one, but I think it's listed number 2 on my sheet. Interact with viewers online.
So there's a couple ways. When I put this on our little notes here, so there's a couple things you can do. So this, we talk a lot about this new generation coming up, the millennials or whatever. They're very interactive. Studies have shown they're looking for interactivity, and so you want to. There's a couple ways to go about this when we talk about interacting with your viewers online. One is even on your social media platforms. So it's not even talking about streaming for a minute. On your interactive on your platforms, you post an image of what you're going to talk about, and maybe invite people to, ask questions ahead of time, or even currently, and then interact with them. That's one thing I'm saying here. Trying to get
so if they comment on your post, then you comment back.
Comment back. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
You want to respond to them. And then the other thing is, we encourage you, if you're going to do streaming video, we encourage you to have a platform that's not just a video player, but there's chat, there's other things on the platform that people can click on and connect while they're viewing the live stream.
Right.
And we think that chat's important. In fact, I was how did I get on this? I was watching a video of some girl that's a gamer, and she's been gaming for about a year. And these gamers out there, they're on Xbox 360 or whatever they're on. My son's on one. And she was saying, and she streams her gaming adventures.
Right.
I don't really understand that stuff. That's all like really foreign to me. But I guess, like if you're playing, what's the game that they're playing when they're building things? My son does it all the time. It's
Minecraft.
She would stream her Minecraft. So while she's doing Minecraft, she would stream it. And one of the things that she said was, she goes, I'll get people popping in. She goes, but if I don't respond to them, she goes, they go away. She goes, I want more people to watch and stuff, so I interact with them. She goes, it's really hard because I'm trying to do Minecraft or doing another game.
Right.
And it is kind of hard to interact and focus on the game.
Well, you can actually talk to them too, right?
You can talk, yeah.
Because they see what's going on, But
you could chat too. So, and now that doesn't necessarily totally apply to streaming video for churches, but when you're streaming and you have a chat platform, you should have somebody monitoring.
Right. And
your web host or something.
Yeah. And we'll get in maybe a little bit more, but along these lines, you want to I mean, people are going to kind of come to life when you acknowledge that they're there,
Exactly.
as opposed to that I showed up and they don't know I'm there and nobody's paying any attention to me. I'm just going to bail.
Yeah.
So, but when they acknowledge, hey,
Sure.
Steve, welcome to our service, your ears kind of perk up and go, oh, they're talking to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I've you do this all the time, and I do it occasionally too, where I'll go to other people that are streaming and just see how they're doing and stuff. And when they do respond, it's nice. They don't just ignore you. So which goes on to the next topic, the next point, I should say. The topic is how to get more viewers. And you touched on that, is that, you should really talk this up in your church itself, even in the building.
Right.
So that means from the platform, from the pulpit, from whatever you call it, the stage, from the sanctuary.
Right.
Somebody needs to talk it up. And number one, I would say if you're streaming live, that person, it's the pastor, should not just welcome the people there, because mostly everybody will do some kind of a welcome.
Right.
Welcome, thanks for coming today. They should also welcome the people watching online.
Yes. So it's important to recognize them, and that also will perk their ears up. Because if you feel like you're completely invisible and you're somewhere remote and no one ever pays any attention to you, but if you come in and you just like you welcome those that are there in your presence, or somebody that would be in an overflow room or whatever, you want to recognize them.
And then the other positive thing that does is it reminds the people inside the church building, hey, the world is a little bigger than just us and these four walls.
Right.
There's other people watching, and there's other people watching from maybe all parts of the world.
Right. So what that leads to is the next time they're leaning over the neighbor's fence, they can say, hey, you got to come to our church. Oh, and by the way, you can come to our church from your house. Just tune in on this date at this time. And
yeah. And so that's part of, I think, and I mentioned this at the end of my notes here, but that's kind of establishing a culture in your church, that the sense that, hey, we do streaming video. It's important to us. And so we acknowledge it. We acknowledge people online, and it's part of who we are. So we invite people to come, not just to church, but come watch it online first, because it's easier for somebody from the comfort of their own home or wherever they're at on their mobile device to watch the live streaming video and get a feel for your church, who you are, what you guys believe, how the style of the music, the style of the pastor.
Right.
Very important stuff to do. And it needs to be on a regular, all the time basis, not just once in a while. But every time you have a live service and you're streaming, mention the people.
Yeah.
And in your church, I was a part of this when I worked there. I don't know if you guys still do this, but we used to actually tell people, we used to tell the people on the platform that were speaking, either making announcements or maybe the pastor, hey, you've got people watching from Canada or from, different country, or even just different parts of Tucson or different parts of Arizona,
right,
where we're from.
Yeah, so that adds a lot too.
Yeah,
is they'll go through and say, hey, we got people tuning in from here, from Minnesota, or name off the cities and that sort of thing. So there's a couple of things that lets people know that this thing is going out far and wide, and it also recognizes the people that are watching from that location.
Yeah, it's all about connecting with people. Connecting with them online. So they're watching, so many of them want to be connected with it, just at least to some level. Some maybe not, but a number of them do. And then you were mentioning something before we started to tape this podcast. Steve Sermet's church, they do something unique.
Yeah, there's a church actually here in town that's been in stream with us for a very long time. And it's I guess you would call it a medium-sized church, but they have an incredible online following. And they do a few unique things. They do the one that you mentioned, where they actually had a group that was tuning in from Israel for several weeks. And so they were, during the service of the senior pastor would say, hey, we've got a group from Israel. We just want to shout out, and
well, Steve's Messianic, so he goes over there quite a bit.
Yes, so they recognize that group.
Right.
But one of the other things they do, which is kind of unique, is they have a kind of an intermission between services, I believe.
Okay.
And what they do is they stick a mic up at the front of the sanctuary, and they continue to stream, and they allow people in the congregation to come up to the mic and do a shout out to their friends and family that are watching from other parts of the country.
Okay. And this is between services.
Between services, yeah. So,
interesting.
They'll get up there and go, "Hey, Uncle Harry, I'm glad you could drop in," and and so it's a way to recognize the people, and it also gets the people that are part of the church here. They can invite friends that live in other parts of the country to attend the service.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Definitely some interesting thinking there. If you have something else to add to the list, folks, let us know. But we've got a few more things to talk about here when it comes to getting more viewers for streaming video. One of the things, and some of this is good old-fashioned stuff, but it needs to be said. And one of them would be, you need to publish the fact that you're online as much as you can in every place you can in some way. So I would say, even in your program, that you have it listed in your program somewhere saying, hey, if you can't make it some Sunday, catch us online with the domain name or whatever.
Right.
I would put it in your newsletter all the time.
Yeah.
I would think you're sending a weekly newsletter out somehow via email or just good old-fashioned snail mail.
Yeah, and this would fit along the topic we brought on earlier about making it prominent on the homepage of your site.
Yeah. I would put it in everything you can, brochures, maybe even a unique brochure that talks about it that people could give out, print cards that you could give the members of your congregation. It's easy. It's very cheap and easy now. You can go to VistaPrint and print business cards, and you could put, watch us online live with the domain or whatever, the website. I would get that out there if you really want to get people, because it's just good old-fashioned, what do they call it, grassroots, getting the word out from other people in your church. The other thing, too, would be I would put it on different signage around the actual church building, inside the building, different places inside the building. Yeah. You could, nice-looking graphic saying, don't forget we're online.
Right.
Invite your friends, or, if people can't make it, they could always go online.
Yeah, it should become just the natural culture of the church, like you say, that everyone knows, oh, yeah, we're streaming this.
Yeah.
We're online.
It should not be a secret, and it should be encouraged to promote and ask other people to promote it. Your people, your members to promote it. Let people know about it.
And there's another one that came to mind here that's not on our list as well, that some churches do a really good job of, and some churches don't do such a good job. And that's just like you have a greeter out front that can do a great job or can turn people off. You want to have a good greeter / host / pastor online as well. That's kind of welcoming people and directing the conversation and answering questions and doing that sort of thing. So there's some churches that do a really good job with this, and so their whole community is very vibrant online.
Yeah.
So they're doing things like the equivalent of reaching out and shaking hands and people show up and that sort of thing.
And if you really want to get technical, if you've got the ability to do it, here's another little trick that could also help connect people, and that is that same online greeter, or if you want to call them online pastor, depending on what you want to do with that. You could do a little breakaway and have what we used to do when I was at your church. We would break away, and there would be a camera on me. I was the church online pastor there for a period of time. They would do a breakaway during announcements. The live stream would go to me, and I would welcome people, greet people, and maybe even customize the announcements, so to speak, for the online crowd.
Right.
And then I'd throw it back to the, to the main worship center or whatever you call it there, And then I would even close it out too. I would close at the very end.
Right.
Actually, I did. I got to the point where I would greet people at the very beginning live on camera. Then we'd throw it back to the music.
Right.
Then we throw it back to me doing announcements. Then we throw it back to the pastor speaking.
You're somewhat of a host for the whole online crowd.
Right.
So,
But it does help connect people.
Right.
And and you say, well, isn't that kind of hard to do? Well, honestly, we just took a camera. It might have been one of your old cameras, one of your old video cameras, and we just happened to have another video switcher, and we just made it work so that we would switch back and forth.
Right.
So
it wasn't a real glamorous setup, but it worked well.
It wasn't glamorous. No, it wasn't. But it worked.
So a lot of the time, you would have a hand behind your back flipping that switch back and forth as you spoke on
at one point
on camera.
That's kind of what it got down to. I mean, when we first started, I actually had a little producer, and Dan Patagoni used to be my my producer, and he would be the guy sitting in the corner. He would throw the switches.
Right.
While I would casually talk. But then I don't know what happened, but I ended up just doing it myself.
Right.
I think one time I had a long hook, so I could reach and pull down the slide. And then finally I just got some longer cable so I could move the box over to where I was.
So it was out of the camera view, but it was
out of camera view, but I could reach back and do it myself.
Yeah.
And,
so
there's all sorts of ways to do things. If you have the will, you can do that. So we're talking about getting more viewers for streaming video. And here's one more I have, and that is if you have people that have watched the service online and it's changed their life in some way, maybe gave their life to God, maybe something amazing happened in somehow, some way. If you can somehow or another get that testimony, either in print or if it's possible to get it on video, or some way to get that.
Video is a very effective way to do it.
Video is a great way to do it, and it's easy to do with iPhones and Android phones now. The cameras are good. You can upload it on YouTube. But what I'm getting at here is maybe, if you can get some testimonies out there, share the testimonies with people.
Right.
Share it somehow, some way to your membership, as well as even outside your membership on your Facebook page, on your Twitter account, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So those things can help.
Yes. And I see I had this great idea that I just now recognize you had already written out, but about talking about the church culture was going to be our last point, but I went ahead and went over it.
That's fine. No.
I thought it was, I didn't realize it was on the list.
Well, it's good to emphasize it. Yeah. It's also good to read the list before we do this, but that's okay.
I did. That's probably why I had the great idea while you were talking about the other thing. Oh, the culture.
Well, it is a culture thing. And so if you just started to do streaming video and you only got a few people watching, don't be discouraged, okay? Because it does take time to build your members, to build your audience, if you want to call them an audience, to build your viewership. It takes time, but if you will do these things we talk about, I guarantee you will get more and more viewers. And you may not get 50 people right away, but if you do it consistently, all these things we discussed, you will slowly begin to add viewers, and you'll see some things happen. And by the way, one of the advantages of having more viewers is you get people connected. And we don't really have time to get to talk about. We actually had a guy that was doing our web host, one of our greeters from another state. You remember Don?
Yes.
And but also there's people that give online. And so if you have a platform and you've got your ability for people to give online while watching the video, that can help pay for the streaming video.
Yes.
And your church in particular. You guys got a large donation. I remember one time.
Yes.
It actually really helped.
Yes.
And it was
a very large donation.
And it came through the online ministry.
Yes.
And so, I say that at the very end because to me, that's not the motive to do it. The motive is to reach people and help connect people and help people change their lives. But, when people connect with you, they will support what you're doing financially. They'll support you in other ways.
Right.
Pray for you. And maybe if they're in the area, they might even start coming to church and get involved in things. So there's a lot of positive things to getting more viewers and connecting with more people.
Yeah, exactly. You want to, it kind of boils down to you want to have that heartfelt connection.
Right.
That
it's important.
It's not there when you're just doing video. You want to be able to connect the people to each other.
Yeah. So I'd encourage you to do chat. And that brings us to the point of what we do for a living. We have several products, and one of them is StreamingChurch.tv. And we offer streaming video for churches and ministries. And we offer a very interactive chat platform so people can connect. Yeah. You can customize it for your church, and you can put links on it for people to see different things on your church website or pastor's blog or prayer request or giving online. So we have that product.
We have Church App Live, which is a mobile app for churches. We have myflock.com, which is church management and website management. And then our newest product, greeter.church, which is a real-life online greeter. I've been hearing a lot about in the follow the tech world thing. Really, the bot world is going crazy, but this would be a real-life greeter. As opposed to
on the other end of the chat.
Yes, on the other end.
So it's not a robot.
Not a robot.
So the nice thing about having something like greeter.church, and if you want to find out more about it, just type in your browser greeter.church.
Yes.
Because church, the word church at the end is what do they call it? High profile, what do you call
Top
it?
level domain.
High level domain name is church.
TLD, top level domain.
Yeah, top level domain, that's it. If you type in greeter.church, you can see the website and see more about it. But that's actually a live person that can put a snippet of code on your website, and when people go there, there's a little greeter box that people can either ignore, or if they have a question, they can type in, and the person can answer questions about your church. And so, check it out. And there's like a free 10-day trial for that one?
Maybe 30 days still.
Is it still 30 days? I know our other products are 30 days free trial, but anyhow. Okay, so we're done. We're out of time. If you have anything to add to our list of how to get more viewers, we'd love to hear from you. Support at StreamingChurch.tv. His name is Steve Lacy. I'm Phil Thompson. We will let you go. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us, and catch us for another edition of the Church Solutions Podcast. Have a great day.